Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up? It's your boy, Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team, speak your thoughts or lose your mind. And it is Monday. It is December the 13th. It is 8:01 p.m., and as promised, we are here back again. It is kind of a chilly week. A chilly day. You feel me? The atmosphere and the temperature, the weather has been off and on. We've had cold weather, we had hot weather, we've had tornadoes, and I definitely want to send my condolences to anybody that has lost anyone or lost anything in these storms, especially in Kentucky. Very catastrophic, I believe, EF4 on the tornadoes, and I believe here we had an EF1 that touched down. Probably covered about 7 miles or whatnot, but we're just sending our prayers and condolences to anybody that's lost anything or anybody, and anybody that's injured. We pray for a speedy recovery, and for you, to get your home back in order or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And I hope these insurance companies act right and give these people the money that they deserve. That was a very sad situation. On a good note, I don't think I've been on since the Tullahoma football team won this Class 4A state championship, the first time in history ever that they won, the first time that they ever been to the state championship, I do believe. And, what better way, what I'm saying, for Coach John Olive, who's been an inspiration to me with basketball and other sports that I've played. What better way for him to go out on top like Michael Jordan? You know what I'm saying? He left on top with the crown, and that's how he's going to be remembered. And I believe he's also part of the athletics department. I believe if he's not, I think he took Mathis's place, if I'm correct. I'm not sure, but he's in that department somewhere. So shout out to the Tullahoma Wildcats football team. Y'all are some beasts. Do you hear me? And y'all made it on ESPN with a classic interception by my boy number 11. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's classic. Like, I hope they replay that over and over, and I hope there's a snapshot somewhere in the gym. Real talk. So now that we got through all of that, I hope everybody had a great week so far. I don't know who this Facebook user is, but somebody sent stars. I don't know who it was. It was a ghost. They ain't got no face. But if anybody that's on the Royce's Rant page, doing this broadcast, you can support my page by sending stars, a digital gift that helps keep this show running with the content that you like. It's only 99 cents. You feel what I'm saying? 99 cents. That's all we asking for, $1 or $2, just to keep this show running, because it's very important. We're in our 4th season, getting ready for our last show at the end of December, and then we're taking a break for season 5, and I promise you guys are going to love season 5. But that's enough of the intro. Thank you guys for being on right now. I would like you guys to share, because we have an important topic and topics to speak about for those who have been to this particular topic we're talking about, or haven't been about it, or probably don't know what it is. We're about to give you guys some vital information for the next 20 years of your life. That's very important. That's you, that's your kids, and that's your kids' kids, and kids that you might have that you may not know about yet. All right. So, listen, ladies and gentlemen, the title of this show, pretty much, I just, took it from, the project that's going on. It's called Think Tullahoma 2040. What is it? Everybody's like, well, what is this Think Tullahoma 2040? I know some people heard about it. Some people didn't get a chance to make it to some of the initial meetings and some of the planning and stuff that we were doing. They actually invited, pretty much the whole town to participate in this, and myself and my lady, and amongst others were others that came through and checked it out and participated in it. But I don't want to talk that much about it, because we have a special guest that can give us just as much information as she can possibly. And if she can't, she will get back to you later. You feel what I'm saying? That's what the source told me. So anybody that gave me those questions, please come back on the show and repeat those questions. Otherwise, later on the show, I'll ask those questions that you guys ask, and she'll ask them to the best of your ability. But ladies and gentlemen, I have this is a special guest. I actually met this young lady prior to the Think Tullahoma 2040. Every now and then I pop up at the Bowman meetings or whatnot, and she introduced herself, and it was very well to speak with her. And I'm gonna tell you one thing I do like about this lady. She speaks real. You know what I'm saying? Straight, plain to the point. You know what I mean? It didn't feel uncomfortable speaking with her about some of the questions that I had, and she answered them to the best of her ability. And I said, I got to get you on the show so we can elaborate more. Shout out to BJ Anderson, man, on the stars, man. You always showing love. Thanks a lot, my man. So I have on the show, if you were bringing in, we have the Tullahoma Senior Development Planner, Miss Mary Samaniego. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Y'all give him some hand claps for that. You know, I ain't too well up on my Spanish, you feel what I'm saying? But she made sure that she let me know how to say that, and I try to remember how to pronounce some of the words and
Yeah,
letters and stuff in Spanish, and I think I did all right, and that's what's up.
that was good.
So, how are you doing today, first and foremost?
I'm well. How are you?
Man, I'm doing good.
Uh-huh.
I'm fighting, predicting like how this weather is gonna be. I heard it's about to turn into something worse than what we've had before, as far as the temperature change is like it's been really confusing for me, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But I've been staying up on my health. I've been drinking my water, I'm not eating red meats or pork, so that's a plus. It's helping out with a lot, I'm telling you people. But I've been good, man, just staying busy.
Good.
Actually getting ready for season 5, even though we're on season 4. But just like you guys do so well,
Uh-huh.
that would be planning, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to do for my show too. So and those were gunshots fired. You know what I mean? I'm trying to catch up with y'all. But never mind my producer boy. He's a hoot. He gonna throw those. He gonna throw those every now and then. So get ready. So first of all, thank you for giving us your time. Like I said, you guys, we're not gonna take too long on this because we want to get straight to the point, and we want to leave some more for you guys to look for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because like she said, there's only so much she can tell you. But maybe if you do the research yourself, and you may find out some questions that people may not have thought to ask, or maybe she never thought about. So I want you guys to be in them comments. All right, I'm gonna be checking them questions. So think Tullahoma 2040. All right, so we're just gonna be real simple with this. So can you explain to the people, for those that have missed it, for those that may have seen the flyer somewhere and they wanted to know what that was about, can you briefly explain what Think Tullahoma 2040 is all about?
Think Tullahoma 2040 is a project that we're doing to create a new comprehensive development plan for the entire city of Tullahoma. A comprehensive development plan includes a plan to coordinate all aspects of private development, utilities, roads, sidewalks, schools, businesses, industry, park locations, all of that for the next 20-year period. So that's why it's called Think Tullahoma 2040. Theoretically, this plan should be implemented by the year 2040. So basically, it's a guiding document for the development and all those aspects of development for Tullahoma for the next 20 years.
So when they say Think Tullahoma 2040, just to clarify what you said, is that meaning that there will be planning up until that time, or during this planning they expect to see what was planned 20 years ago? So like by 2040, will a lot of those things that we have discussed in this day, is that what we're looking forward to see in 2040?
Yes, it's going to be a plan that we will start implementing or doing the projects the day after it's adopted over the next 20 years.
Dope, 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 dope.
Yeah.
So oh, my bad, go ahead.
No, that was it.
All right, cool. So now, you being the senior development planner, right? What
Right.
kind of responsibilities? Because that sounds like a big responsibility. I mean, you're dealing with over 20,000 people here, and land and properties and zoning and all that stuff like that. How important of a role is that you have?
Um, I think it's pretty important, really, is trying to. So there's the zoning code, which is the law that implements the plan. And so anybody that wants to develop property, be it like build a house or build a restaurant, they have to bring their plans to me and I have to make sure it meets that code. That code will say how close the house has to be from the property line. Can it be a house or can it be a duplex or can it be an apartment? If it's a commercial development, how many parking spaces? What are the size of the parking spaces? So it's a lot of technical kind of evaluation that we have to do for given projects. But another part of my job, which I really do enjoy, is kind of the community aspect of it to help build the community and to help fulfill people's dreams if we can, their development dreams or their development ideas. Sometimes people come to me and say, hey, I have this a great idea for a new business. Where do you think I can do it? And I'll say, well, I have a list of locations, that I know the property owners are looking to sell or lease a space, and I think this would be a good location for your dream project. So that's one of the exciting parts of it, beyond the kind of mundane reviewing of plans type of thing. So there's one of the exciting parts of the job that I like is just kind of the different aspects of it.
Got you. And I'm glad you actually kind of jumped ahead of me a little bit, which is cool.
Mhm.
Because you were speaking on zoning, and that's actually a good question. Because one of my questions was for myself and for the people, like what zoning is. Like for
Mhm.
example, like you had just said like somebody was said they had a great idea for
Mhm.
some type of development or business or
Mhm.
anything like that. How do you guys determine what's considered residential or commercial? Like, and I've seen on some of those maps, right? When we went to the meetings, and of course they were initialed C2, C1, and all that. And I
Right.
noticed those. How do you guys determine what a commercial area is in Tullahoma?
Okay, so I like it's perfectly understandable that most people kind of don't understand what zoning is. I wouldn't understand what zoning is if I wasn't really in this business, or if I
Hmm.
didn't have direct. Most people on the street don't really know understand what zoning.
Yeah.
So I like to explain comprehensive plan and zoning like as a comparison. So kind of think of it as like you're building a car. So the comprehensive plan is kind of the initial drawing of the car and the description of the car that you would see maybe in a magazine or a sales catalog. It's going to be a two-door red car with, I don't know, swooping fenders and this kind of a motor in it. So that's kind of a general description and kind of a drawing of it. That's your comprehensive plan. And then your zoning ordinance is the actual, like the technical manual that you would get with your car. It's like the owner's manual that says, okay, it's a two-door car, but you can have either style A door, style B door, style three door. So as comparison, there'll be areas in the comprehensive plan that say this area we want is residential. And then the zoning ordinance, which again is like the owner's manual, will say it can be, if it's single family residential, the lots have to be 10,000 square feet. If it's a duplex, they have to be 20,000 square feet. So it's kind of the specifics are in the zoning ordinance that implement the vision of the plan. So everything always goes back to the plan.
Got you. Now, I've heard in several meetings, every now and then I'll peek into the Bowman meetings if I can't make it online. Um, are there certain areas in I'm like, I'm pretty sure that you guys, of course, you have to, like for that example that you said, somebody
Mhm,
had an idea about this and that.
mhm.
Like I've heard certain answers from other officials here in Tullahoma, like they have to take in consideration wetlands and stuff like that.
Mhm.
How now? Tullahoma, as far as long as I've been living here, Tullahoma is a pretty wet place. Like when it rains, it pours. We're kind of like in this swampy kind of, I
Oh,
can't explain. Yeah, you feel what I mean?
yeah.
Um, it does that make that? I mean, of course, obviously, but it makes it difficult to have growth and development in this town. Would you agree to that, or are there some corners that we passing by that we may not know about?
Yes and no. Again, there's never really clear cut answers to these kind of big, kind of broader questions. There are some like as an example, there are some environmental areas that you really just want to leave as they are, like say floodplains and along our major rivers and creeks, and major like large wetlands, that are full swamp areas. You kind of want to leave those alone. But then there are other areas that you could kind of engineer around, that you can grade and kind of shape the land to kind of raise up the elevation so they won't flood. So it's a combination of knowing which areas you should just kind of leave alone and not touch and leave in their natural state to function naturally. And then there's other areas that you can develop, but you kind of have to engineer the land to make it suitable.
Got you.
So a lot of times it's not one or the other. You have to
Got
know
you.
which technique to use in what scenario.
Okay, okay. So we're gonna jump back just a little bit so everybody can catch up or whatever. Because
Yeah,
when I feel like I asked this one question and then you just got ahead of me on a lot of
right.
it. So it's cool, but we're gonna go back though. I'm glad
Okay.
you're doing it. That's cool.
Okay.
So Now, within this, and I'm just telling my producer the top question, actually the top question below the link, Josh. I'm just speaking to him. All right, so we were talking about the people that we collaborated with. I think they're called the
Mhm,
Walker Collaborative.
mhm.
And there was a question I was asking you behind the scenes that I would like for you to answer here. What is the process? What's the process of choosing a development team, and why was this particular team the number one choice for Tullahoma?
Um, that's a good question. We solicited requests for proposals for the comprehensive plan um, through the Tennessee American Planning Association site and the national site. We wanted to pick a local um, firm that was familiar with a lot of the content of a comprehensive plan and a zoning code that goes with it are regulated by state law. So we wanted a firm that was somewhat familiar with Tennessee state law, so the city didn't in effect have to pay them to read the state law to make sure they knew what had to be in the plan. Also, we wanted to make sure that we had a firm that was pretty well versed in small town issues. There are a lot of planning firms that do a lot of planning in large cities, and it's a different ballgame in small towns.
Explain that. I mean, since you said that, I'm just going to tag on the question.
Yeah,
Um, and then we know there's a difference between a bigger city and a larger city,
yeah.
but elaborate more on that, on the differences when it comes to teaming up with a development team such as the Walker Collaborative.
Well, in larger cities, they always have a lot more funding opportunities. They typically have a lot more money. They have a lot of issues regarding traffic patterns and bus services and extension of utilities. And they just have a lot more complicated issues than small towns do. But some of the issues that small towns face, including Tullahoma, is trying to retain their small town identity and not kind of lose their history. Whereas in large cities, typically you just see growth, to, as much as they can. A lot of times in small towns, you have to kind of find a balance. And we wanted to find a development team that knew the balance of encouraging growth, but not so much growth that you end up not being a small town anymore.
True that. True
So
that.
we had about 7 different consultants submit proposals to us. We had a team of local community leaders review all of the proposals, and we voted and unanimously picked the Walker Collaborative.
That sounds good. That sounds good. So I mean, when I went to the first, well, the first meeting that we had, I think we went to, I think it was East. No, I think it was Robert E. Lee. I think they had it at Robert E. Lee Elementary, the
Yeah.
first one that we had, and I got to speak with some of the people there at Walker Collaborative.
Uh-huh.
They were very attentive.
Uh-huh.
I mean, even some things that some things that they might have not have known if it wasn't for some of the citizens of Tullahoma
Uh-huh.
bringing that up. So shout out to the citizens of Tullahoma for coming there and expressing your concerns and just trying to learn some things. Let me make sure what kind of comment we got right here. I don't want to miss anybody that's saying anything. Okay, she's here a bit late. All right, so those are one of our people who's going to ask a question, and we'll get to that here a little bit later. But um, so um, so with these meetings that we had, I think as
Uh-huh.
far as I know, we've had like three official ones. I think the one where everybody came to different
Yeah,
schools,
yeah, with the
and
kickoff meeting, then we
okay,
had the 4 meetings at the school.
hmm
Then we had the charrette, which was that intensive few days that we had at the high school
yeah,
cafeteria, and then the
yeah,
presentation at the auditorium at the high school.
okay.
Yeah,
So
so we
before
have 3 rounds of meetings.
Okay, so before we get to that, simply, ladies and gentlemen, everybody that just tuned in, this is Think Tullahoma 2040, Think Tullahoma 2040 with the Senior Development Planner, Mary Samaniego. Oh, it's going to flow. It's going to get it right. Oh, Samaniego. Welcome to the show, everybody. And once again, thank you for coming on. And please continue to share as we're talking about Think Tullahoma 2040. It's kind of like a recap on what's to come and what we've already done thus far. And so I'd like to get to the next question. We're kind of moving right along. With these meetings that we've had, I've attended a couple of them. I actually got a chance to I felt like I was in school again with the markers and stuff and highlighting certain areas, and it made us feel real involved in that situation. But I think the main question I think everybody has, especially for the ones that were involved in this hands on, and that's this second question, Josh. Why was it important to incorporate the citizens in this development plan? And in doing that, how much influence did the citizens have?
That's an excellent question. And that was one of the things that I was very mindful of when interviewing the consultant teams that we all ultimately picked the Walker Group. The plan should come directly from the citizens. There was misconceptions. I think maybe when I first started, I've been here a little over a year, that the plan isn't written by me, and the plan isn't written by the board of mayor and aldermen or the consultant group for that matter. The plan, the ideas of the plan and the goals and objectives come directly from the residents. And that's why we put so much emphasis on having all of these public input meetings. We did the survey on the Think Tullahoma 2040 website, and we had almost, I think, 1,100 survey respondents, which is really a big percentage given our population is just over 20,000. We've done newspaper articles. I've handed out flyers to local businesses. So really the ideas need to come from the residents of what they want for, or what really you want for your community over the next 20 years. It's your plan. I and the Walker Collaborative are just kind of the technical writers, if you will, that can write down and tell you how to get there.
Cool. And I know that was probably like the because I'm gonna keep it real with you,
Yeah.
because not just in Tullahoma, but since we're talking about it, like sometimes people feel like their votes or their words, statements and concerns, they feel like it doesn't matter. Like,
Uh-huh.
oh, okay, well, they just bringing us here and to
Uh-huh.
make us a part of it. And really, are they really going to take it into consideration? Because I mean, they got all these people here. They seem like they got a plan already together.
Yeah.
Is it really, can they assure us that our input really does hold weight
Uh-huh.
in 20 years of development? And I guess that's what you're saying right now to the
Uh-huh.
people, that our concerns and our ideas and statements and stuff really hold weight in this future development come 2040.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
absolutely. Because I've been parts of other planning projects and other jurisdictions where it's basically a cut and paste job, where they kind of have a certain templates for different plans, and they're like, okay, we'll use template B for this community, and that's not the way good planning should do. And I don't want that process for Tullahoma, nor do I want that process to reflect on me either. So no, this is coming from the citizens themselves.
nice. And to answer what Carrie said, she said over 20,000 residents. It's well, I mean, I just rounded off the 20K. I know when I was listening to the BOMA meeting today, the mayor usually kind of reads off the population.
Yeah,
It was barely over 20,000. Like,
yeah,
we finally hit the 20K, Carrie.
yeah.
Real talk. Because we do that census every 10 years or so or
Uh-huh.
whatnot. So I mean, we just hit over 20K. So, but either way, you can just round it off to the nearest 10. You feel what I'm saying? And the Tullahoma is definitely growing, and I'm
Uh-huh.
definitely proud of this. So, so let's let me get to a question, because I know here in a minute we're going to go to a commercial break, and I will really like, after this commercial break, I would really just want to hear from you personally, as far as what you would like to see,
Uh-huh.
and maybe some concerns you had prior to this. I kind of want to hear from you. But one of the questions that one of our listeners said, her name is Carrie McGarry. Oh, girl, you got a flow to the name. Hold on, let me make sure. Carrie McGarry. What? Stop playing. That's a boss name. She said, my question is, what or what is or what were or are your plans for the condemned properties around town, specifically 700 East Deckard Street? So she's writing them down, you guys.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think. 700 East Deckard Street. I,
That's
I can't.
actually, I
I
think
can't
that's like
remember.
east side over the tracks. That's over there when you cross Anderson Street. that area, I think, where there's a tattoo shop over there. It used to be a club back in the day, and there's
On
some
Anderson?
abandoned rooms in that area. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak exactly to this property, but I do
Mhm.
know that we have a process through our code enforcement officer, Attorney Mercado, to deal with condemned properties.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, because you're talking about um, either condemning someone's property or demolishing a condemned property, it's a very lengthy legal process to go through. So unfortunately, it takes a lot of time because you have to make sure that you give that property owner due process to the extreme to try to rectify whatever the issue is before you actually go in. Oh, look at that, good job. Before you actually go in and tear down or condemn somebody's house. I can't remember, I can't speak exactly to what the issues are for this property.
Okay. Well, yeah. Shout out to the producer, man. He done Google Maps
Google
on the
Maps it, yeah,
kids.
nice.
Do your thing. Do your thing. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Carrie, just to let you know, she has written that down, and I'll be in communication with her. She
mhm,
finds out something, I make sure I'll relate it back to you guys
mhm,
via her, and she said, yeah, it rhymes. Doesn't sell concert tickets. Live music would be grand here. I hear that, and I actually heard Autumn and Barry talk about some live music
yeah,
downtown and stuff like that. But so this is what we're going to do because we went through this kind of swiftly, and then when we come back, I'll recap, and then I want to get some more personal answers from you
okay.
on this particular show, and what we're talking about, and we'll kind of just wrap this up. So like I appreciate you being on. If you can just sit tight, and anybody else that's listening and watching, continue to watch. I want you guys to continue to share. And what does that comment say? Oh, it's listed as a commercial. Okay, she said it's listed as a commercial property now. 4 years later, it's still okay. All right, we'll come back to that statement right there. Now they're talking. Now they're talking. That's good though. But everybody, please continue to share it. Everybody, thank you for the stars during this podcast. You can support my page by sending stars, the digital gift that helps keep this show running with the content you like, starting at only 99 cents. All right, and so we're gonna be back here after these messages, these commercials. Y'all sit tight and share, and we're gonna get some some more personal answers from our senior development planning here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. And any other questions that you guys have, please type them in the comments so we can post them up. All right. So we'll be back here in just a second. Sit tight.
In the beginning, my product was not for sale at all. It was really for my son's eczema. I tried everything that the commercial world had to offer, and nothing tended to his needs. I took it upon myself to create something of my own. I finally had the right antidote. I found out it not only worked for my son's skin, it worked for his hair as well. I started to experiment more and made several products for skin and hair care with all homegrown natural ingredients to give you the healthy look you deserve. Remember, healthy hair and skin isn't a trend, it's a rule.
I've seen it all in the search for fame. The mindless souls of a million aspirations. The journey for constant attention. These are the stories of artists who have failed and are willing to sacrifice everything to get to the top again. What are you willing to do to make it? On the hit list.
The worst thing that we think is happening in our life could be the best thing for a transition in your life. I didn't realize what type of brother I had. My brother is probably turning over in his grave and doing backflips. I found myself. It got me to that point where I knew that I had something to live for and a legacy to live for. my brother's probably like, wow, that's my little brother.
All right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team. Speak your thoughts or lose your mind. And welcome back. I appreciate you guys still sharing. Continue to share. We have people still coming in. Just appreciate the support. And let me remind you guys again about the stars doing this broadcast. You can support my page by sending stars, a digital gift that helps keep this show running with the content you like, starting only 99 cents. And also, if you give 50 shares, not individually, but if you want to, if you get 50 shares doing this live stream, you guys, you're going to get some free half off and BOGO coupons to some of your favorite restaurants here in Tullahoma. I know y'all want some of these things. Matter of fact, let me, you know what? No, I ain't even going to show y'all. Y'all just got to believe me. We got some free half off BOGO coupons. And I mean, from places like Red Lobster, Camino Real, Penn Station, Wendy's, golly, we got Durham's, I mean, everything. You know, everything's on Jackson Street. So everywhere on Jackson Street, I pretty much got a coupon for. So let's get 50 shares, and so I can randomly pick somebody for supporting this show. So at the end of this show, when I look and I see 50 shares, I'm going to randomly pick somebody. And it better be you. All right. So welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for sharing. You know, we have with us, we have the senior planning developer here. Planner, I said it all backwards. Senior development planner, Mary Samaniego. I'm getting better at it. She's been chopping it up with us, just gave us a quick little crash course on, you know, what the planning commission consisted of. She talked about zoning a little bit. And actually, there's a question in here that somebody got ahead on me on that I had. But I'll actually use that question right there because that was actually one of my questions. It was in the comment section. And this was from, I believe, well, just a Facebook user, the one that says Facebook user, Josh. And this is what I was going to ask too. So we'll just do that. So this user said, when we attended the first meeting, we noticed that the South and East side weren't mentioned as far as development. Do you know why? And how do we make those areas a priority? And if I may add to that, I do recall that because I remember asking a question and I saw on the initial agenda, as what it said. It said initial observation, actually. There were three things that were mentioned, but a lot of people noticed that the east side on the other side of the tracks and the southwest side, pretty much on South Jackson, weren't part of the initial observation. Can you explain why is that and how can we make those a priority?
I can't explain that because that information came from the Walker Collaborative, and so I don't want to kind of speak for them. But I can say, again, I've been here for a little, like a year and a couple weeks. I moved here from Tampa, Florida. I can say just in passing people, there's been just a lot of talk and a lot of emphasis put on the northern parts of town. The northern western parts of town. Everybody talks about North Jackson and the areas out by Country Club Drive and this area and the airport. And there's just a lot of emphasis on kind of that part of town. And there's not much talk or chatter going on about the east part of town. I mean, there is some discussion about the industrial parks, but there's not much talk about stuff going on kind of in the eastern neighborhoods or in the southern neighborhoods.
Now, is that from the
South Jackson?
Now, is that from the people or the planners?
The people.
Okay.
I just don't hear a lot of people talking about that areas of town as far as like projects or doing development or.
Interesting. Okay, so
happening.
yeah. Okay, so I'm glad you actually said that because you know I want to make sure people hear that you know from somebody who pretty much is pretty much has the will in some of these situations. Let this be something for the people to hear. So she said she didn't hear much from a lot of the people, so in other words, that means that the people are going to have to step up and let their voices be heard. One, you can use this platform or you can go on your own live. Matter of fact, you can go to some of these meetings, these BOMA meetings, or you could have came to the Think Tullahoma 2040 plan. And she actually answered one of the questions when I said, how important is it that the people are involved and do their words or do they count? Now, listen, you guys, when I came there, I did. I spoke about the east side and the south side, but like that's only one voice, right? There's some of the meetings that I didn't make it to, and we have to create a domino effect on some of the issues that we have, and we need to come together prior to these meetings, and create some type of 10-point plan or some type of statement on paper that, hey, the majority of these people here have this concern. And I actually saw that at Robert E. Lee. There was a guy passing out, papers about what they wanted to see. I was like, yo, that was dope. A conglomerate got together and they made many voices, one voice on a sheet of paper. As simple as that. So let that be a lesson to everybody out there that, if they don't hear about it, then it's not really going to be, brought up. Which comes to this question though. So I'm gonna put you in a warm seat, not a hot seat. I'm gonna put you in a warm seat. Personally, you said you've only been here almost 2 years. You said a little over a year.
A little over a year, yeah.
Okay. When you came here from where you came from, what did you notice personally that you felt that needed some development attention here in Tullahoma?
What I personally and professionally noticed is the commercial areas looking really dated. And I've kind of gone on record and I've talked to the board about that. I've talked to a lot of people about that. So a lot of the commercial development areas just don't look very well maintained. A lot of them do. I'm not trying to, throw the, lump everybody in, but there are quite a few properties that just, there just hasn't been a lot of investment in. I can kind of almost tell exactly when they were developed because it's the same parking lot, the same signs, there's no landscaping. It's just, there are a lot of commercial areas that could use a refresh and not spending a lot of money, to be frank.
I dig that. And so she actually answered two questions in one. So she answered the question, her personal observations and what is needed for the future development. And well, I would say that you also answered what has kept future development in other areas of Tullahoma, and it's pretty much of what you heard or what you haven't heard from people, So now, what would you say to people that would say, we've been speaking about this for the longest time, right? And there may have people that have spoke about it, but other than yourself, right? Who else would they be able to reach out to as a liaison to explain some of their concerns, like to be heard? What would you suggest?
I would talk to the board of mayor and aldermen. I would talk to those representatives. There's all sorts of different groups. I mean, I guess it depends on what the specific issue are, but there's certainly all the different departments within the city. There are a lot of community groups. There are a lot of actually community groups in this city, in this town, which is one of the reasons why I choose to move to Tullahoma. There are a lot of people that have a lot of ideas, and there are a lot of different groups working on projects, but everybody kind of needs to come together. But yeah, just making your voice be known, because the reality is that we have 20,000 people, but we're still kind of a small town. The government, we have limited staff and limited resources. So unfortunately, we are planning for the future, but a lot of our time is putting out fires, so to speak. So if certain areas or certain neighborhoods we don't hear a lot about, we're busy doing projects in other areas where we are getting a lot of complaints and a lot of issues. And that's just the reality of how it works. So if people on the east side of town aren't bringing issues or ideas for us, we're busy working on the parts of town where people are making their voices heard. So it really goes back to community input.
Got you. And so for everyone that is, typing the quick, now they're getting specific with some of the stuff. And I will say this, like, guys, if I read these off, some of these questions, there's cool, but I think there's some that she would have to go back to the, go back to the office and look those down. But right. I'll just throw them up there. So, you got people asking, hey, Dollar General store in the middle of my street. Gary, now Carrie, I'm going to give you the information. We're going to post it up online. It's pretty much the website that Tullahoma 2040. It will have the links to anybody that you need to speak to in the planning commission. So specifically, it would be this young lady right here that's on the screen with us right now. So when we do put up that link, which is actually in our comments, and we'll post it up again, you click on that website, Carrie, and you can email Miss Samaniego. Haha. You can email her directly and you can ask all those questions right there. Therefore, because she said, what did she say? She said, speak to me, Miss Mary. I'm on a first name basis with codes, so that's what it is. All right. So we're going to put up that information for you right there as you see it on the Royce's Rent page, Tullahoma.tn.gov/329/think-Tullahoma-2040. You see it. Just click that and you will find her. It's going to be on the right side, I believe, of the page when I was looking at that. And I'll just read this last statement she said. She said, lots of reasons we all moved to Tullahoma. She said, I left for 10 years. Did you ask me why I left? Did you ask me why I came back 2 years ago? Interesting. Okay. Carrie, why did you? Well, you know what? You can email that. You can email that to our planner right there, because you're bringing us some good questions. I do appreciate you. I really do appreciate you. Thank you for sharing and everything. And what I would like to do, pretty much before we close here, first, a shout out to everybody who has shared. And, I'm going to say this more than once. I'm going to keep saying this because support is a big thing. You dig what I'm saying? So feel free to ask questions during the live show. No, that ain't what I was saying. Look, I'm messing up on my own stuff. You guys get 50 shares doing this live and earn a free half off and BOGO coupons to see some of your favorite restaurants, or to use coupons to use for some of your favorite restaurants here in Tullahoma. Everything from Red Lobster to Wendy's to Durham's to Camino Real, all of that. And what's these comments you're saying right here? You blowing me up. All right. Let's see. Miss Marquita Simmons says, a single parent with 3 kids, 10 and under. I would like to know, will there be any more development for low income housing on the west side of town? I would like my children to be able to play out. Okay. Outside and not be in a bad neighborhood. All right. Cool. BJ Anderson says, thanks for everything you all do in planning the future of Tullahoma. It is much appreciated. You dig? All right. The only housing on the website is Tullahoma Village, and it's not suitable. And actually, you know what? Looks like you about to answer that question before I do.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
There's quite a few different housing options on the west side of Tullahoma, and I can't give specific locations, but we are reviewing a lot of the subdivisions right now. So there's a lot of different subdivisions and apartment developments that are about to come online that should be built the next couple of years. So
dig that. And I'll add to that, you guys, actually, what I was reading, I believe this is in the makings, but I actually talked to one of the contractors who's doing some of the flooring there, but there will be an 89 unit renovation at the Tullahoma Villages. Believe it was in the paper. I don't want to throw like a crazy number out there, but I heard somewhere between like 12 and 16 million with a remainder somewhere. But so that is happening for Tullahoma Villages. If you guys actually want to Google that or look that up, actually, or you can actually look on the Tullahoma.gov or the Tullahoma News. That's on there also. But they are. I'm actually in talks with some of the guys that are contracted to do some of the floor and the wall work there. So yeah, 89 units in Tullahoma Villages. Hopefully they'll be starting on that soon. And if that answers any of your questions, Ms. Simmons, if you guys got any more questions, because I appreciate you guys coming in, let's direct those questions to the website that we have up here. I'm gonna have them put that up again. It's www.tullahomatn.gov/Tullahoma 2040. Well, y'all see that right there. Like, I butchered all of that, but the link is up there on the page, and you guys click that and make sure you email Miss Samaniego, and she can give you as many answers as possible. And if she don't know, I'm pretty sure she knows somebody that do know, and that's what it's all about. Is there anything that you would like to add? Add to this? Anything you would like the people to know? Talk to us.
No, I mean, in general, I guess I think Tullahoma is a great place, and I think we're really, as a community, doing good. There's certainly things that can be improved. Um, as far as the east and south side of towns specifically, I think there's a huge amount of untapped potential there. And I've been trying to preach this all over town to different developers and different people. I was like, why are people not looking at South Jackson? North Jackson's developed way out past, past the movie theater, and then the South Jackson, the development almost stops just a few blocks south of Cottle. I mean, Lighthouse is almost the end of town, but it's only less than a mile from Carroll. So I don't know if there's a lot of property that's actually for sale that's vacant, just sitting there. So just something to think about. Again, I've been trying to work on pulling development towards that end of town. Anything, if any people in that part of town have ideas about redeveloping or business ideas, bring them to me, bring them to the Economic Development Corporation. There's a lot of resources out there for people that have an idea and a little funding behind them to do some projects. I'd love to see some local businesses, local restaurants on that end of town. I mean, there's no restaurants down on that end of town.
Oh, definitely. And add
That's
to that, like,
Carroll.
yeah, I mean, there's people, because I would like to get to see for Tullahoma, I would like to see where people don't have to go to Murfreesboro or Nashville to have something to do or a
Right,
special place they want to eat. You know what I mean?
right.
We used to have, like you see, you've been here,
A
close
year.
to 2 years. And we used to have this place called K Street that was back in the industrial area behind Russell Barnett off of Highway
Uh-huh,
55, and
uh-huh,
used to be a skate park there. My
uh-huh,
producer can vouch for us, man. We had a good time in there, but it
uh-huh.
got shut down because I guess one of the people next door that were also working, I guess they didn't like a bunch of kids running around having
Uh,
fun, and so they charged them with a what do you call it? What we call an ASCAP. With ASCAP, you have to be registered to play music as a DJ now these
uh,
days. So they tagged them with an ASCAP violation, and they had to shut the whole thing down. And we're like, come on, we're just trying to have
yeah,
fun, do some skating, eat some food, have some
right.
concerts, and it's just a lot of those things have been taken away from Tullahoma, and it's just like, what will these kids have to do when they get off of school for the weekend besides drive down Jackson Street, down the hill, around Sonic, and then back up to the mall and just parlay,
Right.
we need a little more something, a
Yeah.
little more. Um,
Yeah. So
one
think of
more,
your ideas.
yeah,
Bring ideas.
real
But
talk.
it's up to the private, the private property owners to bring ideas to us.
True that. BJ Anderson says at the bottom of this comment, he said, "Oh, he was saying growing." He said, "Growing pains tonight in the BOMA meeting with the new parliamentary person." He asked, "Will that cause a strife with the Think Tullahoma plan?"
No, there's two separate issues. I can't even say it. The parliamentarian is to make sure that the board meetings are run legally and they're making the right motions according to Robert's Rules of Orders. That has nothing, I mean, no. The only thing that the parliamentarian can do is she would make sure that the adoption process is legal and goes smoothly, hopefully when the plan is done this spring.
True that. So you hear that, BJ? So really, it's kind of like a babysitter. Make sure
Yeah.
y'all go in order with what we do, because sometimes
Yeah.
we got to get some things. I mean, shout out to Bowman and all that, man. I hope they get anything they got wrong get together or whatnot, because all we want to see is the greater good at the end of the day. And I'm glad that they did have the parliamentary person there to make sure that it ran in a particular order, and we can just move on with what we got to do.
Yep.
He said they needed one. All right, man. Hey, that's the people talking, and I agree. It's true. It's true. So well, Miss Samaniego, I really, really do appreciate the time that you had given us, and I really do appreciate your statements and even some of your personal concerns, and even just tapping into what it is that you do, what the Planning Commission is, what zoning is all about, and with one thing I like to end on with you is it was that last meeting that we had, the one I couldn't make, but the one we came to the cafeteria,
Uh-huh.
and then we were going to come that following Monday in the auditorium, I believe. How did that end? What was that all about, and what happens next?
That ended with a draft map for the plan showing what parts of town are to develop in what ways. What parts of towns are to stay the way they are, what neighborhoods are going to stay neighborhoods, what parts of town are going to redevelop. So there might be parts of town now that are vacant or old commercial sites that the plan would say, this is where we should target more apartments. And so they kind of have a draft map right now that Winston Brooks, the community development director, my boss and I are working through now. The consultants are actually now working on typing up the plan. So kind of drafting the text of it all. That's going to take a couple months. They're going to bring that text to us. We'll put the draft plan document on the website. So if you want to stay tuned for that. And then we'll ultimately take that to the Planning Commission and the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for adoption this spring. If anybody's interested, I know, thank you, Royce, for plugging the website. If anybody wants to get caught up on this whole process, if they kind of are really interested, if you go to that website, you can see all the past PowerPoint presentations and all the data, the survey results, everything, the map, everything is on that website. So you can educate yourselves as to kind of where we are in the process. And it's not too late to get involved.
There you go. Clap for him. All right. What's going on? Trey Addict just hopped in. Appreciate the stars. I think that's what you did. But hey, man, please continue to share, man. Thanks for coming on and doing what you do, man. Please continue to share. Thank you for the stars. Thank you for everybody that's been on here, and definitely thank you once again for giving us 45 minutes to an hour of your time explaining some of the things we may not understand about this development here in Tullahoma. I hope this is a message to everyone with everything that she said, as far as being heard or being or letting your voice be known. Because see, you guys, it's very important, because the fact that they did include us in this particular comprehensive plan, they gave us the power of the pen and the power of the word. So if we don't come together as a conglomerate, more than one, like they say, one band, one sound. This is a small town. So, I mean, there's nothing, if 50 people get together, it's almost like 1,000, and the best of especially depending on who you are and, what moves you can make as an individual. Imagine 50 individuals just like you that can make moves, so it's very important that you guys speak up about what you guys want here. And like she said, it's still not too late. And like I said, there's the link below. I won't say it because there's too many dashes and slashes, but y'all see it. Y'all can click the link, and I'll make sure I put it in the comments again when we get off. Once it's highlighted, please email either Mr. Winston Brooks or Ms. Samaniego, and they will answer your questions to the best of their ability. And I hope you guys continue to be involved. And to you, thank you for coming on. And feel free to press that hang up button or whatnot. But I'm gonna get on my my little solo thing. I kind of, FaceTime myself for a minute and tell the people, my closing remarks and thanking them for coming on. But we thank you for the time, and we'll definitely be in touch. And, if you have any more updates, feel free to let me know what's going on. Maybe you can hop up on here again during another show and just update the people.
Okay, very good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. We appreciate it. And you have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? I told you guys I wasn't going to be that long. It is 8:54 p.m. It is, oh, okay. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Dang, what was I saying? Okay, so we were talking about Think Tullahoma 2040. We had the senior development planner, Miss Mary Samaniego. She explained everything from planning to zoning and some of her personal statements and concerns and what she would like to see. And I believe she did agree that, that the south side of Tullahoma needed needed to show some love, especially out there on the east side of the tracks. We got some commercial areas out there, but at the end of the day, it's still up to us to have a voice. And we have to go to these meetings and we have to raise Cain about what we want to see in the next 20 years because, we're getting old. You feel me? It's about our kids, too. The kids that are in school, the ones that are going to be coming out of college and hopefully coming back to contribute to where they're from. And, you want to see, in the next 20 years, Tullahoma develop into a progressive area here. What's this say? Digging the hat. Jamie Moorhead, you in the charge of this look. You already know she is. You already know she is. Shout out to Jamie Lovett and Jay's Butter, man. You know what I'm saying? For, you know, the hat. She the one to try to, she's like, we got to change your dressing style. You coming in jogging suits and, my producer be saying that too. Shout out to my love right there. Shout out to Jay's Butter, the commercial y'all saw. Shout out to Bishop. Jimmy L. Tyson. Shout out to Maze, my guy Mikhail. Y'all saw that commercial there. And shout out to my producer, Josh Lovett, an award-winning director and producer. He just showed one of our short films that is co-starring me, as the evil guy. You feel what I'm saying? And, did I say Jamie Lovett? My bad. There's too many J's in here, Josh. There's too many. You already got my middle name with a R. You feel what I'm saying? But y'all, anyway, you guys, I really do appreciate you guys sharing. Please continue to share. BJ, thank you for always supporting. Thank you for the stars. I think we have my guy on here. Where'd he go? He was at the bottom. Yeah, Trey Addict, you know what I'm saying? Officer Addict, you know what I'm saying? All day, you feel what I mean? And anybody else, shout out to Carrie and to Miss Simmons. Shout out to my love, everybody out there that's been watching and you will be watching soon. All right, so you guys, quick announcement. I got one more show this year, and it's gonna be on the 27th. It's gonna be the last show of this year, the last show of the 4th season, as we take a 2-month hiatus and get ready to move to a new location. With the new show, with new guests. You feel what I'm saying? It's going to be so lit for season 5. And I want y'all to make sure, y'all going to be seeing the next 2 months. I'm going to be sharing some stuff that my producer, whom y'all don't see, he's doing some work with himself and some of his film and video projects that he has directed and produced. And, I'm just happy to be a part of that award-winning conglomerate. And so you guys stay tuned with some of that stuff we got coming up, all right? So, hold on, make sure I got to read that last comment. BJ, it's me. It is me. Appreciate the comment. Oh, okay. You're the Facebook user. You coming in here incog. Yeah. All right. I see you, Jamie. All right. I don't know why it's doing that. But anyway, thank you guys once again. And as we close, man, I'm your boy, Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team. Speak your thoughts or lose your mind. And I will see y'all in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.